Hello, my name is Em, and I am an incoming undergraduate at the University of Cambridge studying biological natural sciences, and I got 5 A stars at A level, including in my EBQ, biology, chemistry, maths, and geography. And I got these percentages. This is not to brag, this is just to say the study methods that I learned were quite efficient at getting me good places. And so these are the tips I used in year 13 to try and prepare myself for both university applications and for a strong A-level experience. So first, I've recently recorded a similar video for year 12 students, and some of these tips might be a bit repetitive, but there is a difference between year 12 and year 13. So for year 13s, I would strongly recommend Anki. And if you don't know what Anki is a application that does flashcards, and they do spaced repetition. So based on how comfortable and knowledgeable you are about a flashcard, it will repeat it at intervals to remind you so you can recall the information. And I recommend active recall of what is on the flashcards. So either say it out verbally or say it in your mind. But when you are shown the flashcard, you will rank it based on how well you know it, and then accordingly it gives you the flashcard at intervals. So if you're comfortable with it, it will leave a longer time. But if you're a bit shaky on it, you will have to revisit the flashcard at shorter intervals. And that is based on the forgetting curve, which explains how, as we learn something, we forget it slowly over time, but with repetition we kind of regain that knowledge and it takes longer to forget. So the more times you repeat, the longer you remember, and that is really good for longevity and learning things over a long time. It's good sustainable strategy. And along with that, I would say make knowledge organizers of all the topics that you've done. So this could be on paper, on Word, and those are really useful for blank page retrievals or blurting, which is another form of active recall where you write down everything you know about a topic on a piece of paper and you revisit it. And the knowledge organizer is really helpful for that because you can put all of the knowledge you need for a particular topic on like 2 sides of A4. And when you do the blank page retrieval, you can easily see these are the things I missed, and you write them down in different colour. And then you repeat that process until you can remember the majority of the information on that topic. And this was really, really helpful for SE subjects. So geography for me, it was absolutely essential. And I have some resources on my website below. I will link it. It has like question banks that I used, and my knowledge organizers, and some Anki flashcards I used. So if you are feeling that you don't want to make all these revision resources on your own, you can find those for free below. But I would recommend making them yourself because it allows your mind to kind of process the information and you know what's on there, and it's just you're more engaged in the process of making the flashcards, but you need to use them. And kind of similarly, so questions are absolutely essential for like your science subjects and maths, but for all subjects really. But I would suggest you start tracking the topics that you find most difficult. So again, a link below, but I use spreadsheets for this. I would record the percentage I got for, if I did questions on like enzymes in biology, I would write down the percentage I got, and my spreadsheet would calculate the average of the percentage I got over all of these times I've revisited enzymes, and the spreadsheet automatically assigns a color to it, so therefore you can easily visualize, oh, enzymes is green for me, I don't need to do enzymes anymore, but biological molecules like carbohydrates is red, I need to do more questions on carbohydrates. And that was really helpful in like delegating my work. So I would work mostly on the parts of the spec that I wasn't aware of, or wasn't as well as I would work on the parts of the spec that I wasn't as comfortable with and focus on practice questions on those, I would focus on doing blank page retrievals on those topics. to really solidify that knowledge in my mind, and eventually you do begin to see the progress. And the spreadsheet I found was very helpful. Like, I have spreadsheet autism. I love spreadsheets, but I love spreadsheets. They're so fun. They're so easy. They're so easy because they just display everything in a nice gridded order, and you can easily see which topics are your worst and focus on those. And it's just really helpful. And starting early will really give you a broad understanding of where your weaknesses are before your exams. And similarly is to keep a question bank of every single question you got wrong. I used a Notion template for this. Again, I'm repeating myself, but there's a free Notion template in my website down below. And I would copy and paste the question, followed by, in the toggle function on Notion, within the function, I would copy down the mark scheme and write down what I got wrong in the question, common misconceptions, what I got wrong, and that was really important. It felt laborious kind of at the beginning of year 13 when I started doing this because I wasn't looking at the question bank. But in the last 3 months before, leading up to exams, I went through every single one of the questions. I repeated them all. I color-coded them based on if I got them right or wrong, and I would just keep going through all the questions I got wrong until I was basically getting them all right. And this isn't because I memorized the mark scheme. I did not remember any of the questions. I just repeated them because, yeah, it was kind of a lot, but it really helped me. It's a really good hack, and I have not heard really anyone talk about this, but this was really like pivotal for my revision journey at A-level. And also, so viewing studying at A-level as a long game is so important. You need to start from the beginning of year 13. I would really recommend starting from the beginning of year 13 with like revision. That doesn't mean doing 3 hours every day after you get back from school. That means doing 1 or 2, include like obviously, and study in your free periods, like 1 or 2 hours every day after school. And yeah, don't rush, don't force yourself to work excessive hours. Consistency is the key. It's to keep up with these things, keep organized. I think it's really important to keep organized with the spreadsheet, with the question bank, and keep on top of the things. Get your knowledge organizers and Anki flashcards done, and yeah, be consistent. And I think along with that, please start writing your coursework and uni application early. It's so beneficial to get them out of the way before actual exams are occurring. So yeah, being organized with your coursework and uni application will keep you on top of things, and reach out for help from teachers to get feedback on your uni application and your coursework, because those are really important things to get right. So access support when you can, but get them out of the way early because it will free up time to focus on your A-levels, and your mocks, which at the end of the day do matter quite a bit. Your A-levels do matter quite a bit. I have released a video about personal statements, and I will put it up here. But personal statements, I would say do your coursework and your uni application over a long time, but like short enough to get it done on time. Let it reflect in your mind, let it stew, and just get them out of the way, because it really you will feel a lot more free to get your A-level work revision done when you've got those out of the way, because they can be quite daunting. And finally, my kind of last few points will be on self-care, because self-care is so important. Please maintain healthy habits around looking after yourself, because truly your ability to focus and your ability to learn is so intertwined with your ability with your physical health. keeping on top of your physical health is so important. That means sleeping, eating well, sleeping at least 7 hours, but ideally 8 hours, please. Eating well, enough, the right foods, drinking enough water. Yeah, it's just please do it to keep yourself sane and physically well, because it will reflect in your grades. I promise you, it will reflect in your grades, especially the sleep. Please sleep. I know it's kind of easy to spend long nights on like your personal statement or whatever, but please, like I said, consistency is key. Keep it during not daylight hours. Keep it during reasonable hours. I personally don't get my best work done at the middle of the night. Some people do, but ideally you want to be keeping a consistent sleep schedule, and that means not working, not pulling all-nighters, because yeah, it's just, your brain is just not going to be functioning at its optimum. So yeah, be careful with yourself. And I think along with that is please maintain social connections, because having a strong social network is so important for your longevity, the sustainability of your study. If you're having a hard time, you can fall back on these people and they'll give you support. It's also really important to have a break by talking to people in lunchtime, and yeah, it's important to have a break at lunchtime, talk to your friends, because socializing is just really important for your brain health, and socializing is just really important for your brain and your brain health. And it's really nice to have a break, because your brain can't be focusing on intense work for extensive hours every day. So yeah, that support system around you is so important, and that you can be helpful, you can work together. And I think along with that, make studying fun. So I would recommend make a nice study list, get a nice drink before you study, get a snack, like study with friends, do all these things to make studying more fun, and that will really keep you happily productive in the long run. You're not going to burn out. And that's the final thing. Please don't burn out. I saw a lot of people burn out by the few months before A-levels, and it's kind of because you kind of neglect self-care and you fall into these patterns of working. So just please take care of yourself, because the last thing you want to do in the few months before your A-level exams is to burn out, feel completely exhausted. You're not going to perform as well on your A-levels. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So please be slow about it and don't overwork yourself, because it genuinely does no good to overwork yourself. I think I succeeded in my A-levels because I was revising over a long time, but not excessively, because your brain isn't going to retain as much information if you cram it all into a few days before your exam. You need to be slow, steady, sustainable. Bring it back to sustainability. I'm a sustainability nerd, but you need to be sustainable, conserve your resources, and just be slow. Be slow with yourself. So those are my kind of tips about succeeding in year 13. And I hope if you found any of that useful, that you can kind of enact it in your day-to-day life, in your studying. And truly, sincerely, the best of luck for year 13. It is a very stressful year. And it's a very, very stressful year. Probably the most stressful year. It will probably be the most stressful year of your life so far, unfortunately, but it can truly be so fun if you learn to make memories with it, make studying a fun activity, streamline your study process, and work with yourself, not against yourself. Because you shouldn't need to battle yourself to succeed. You need to work with your mind, with the constraints of your mind, with your health, mental health, and those are really the secrets to, not so secret, they're not really that, they're kind of obvious, I can't lie. They're the little tips to really achieving good outcomes at A-levels, and with your university application. And yeah, good luck. As I've said many times, I've cultivated a website, and you can see it down below, where I've put down like resources that I used, especially in year 13, to succeed. Okay,